Alright, this is Naya Aggro, and I've been having wild success with this deck. At the moment, 61% win rate over, let's say, yeah, it's 41 games, 8 hours played. I've been playing this deck in Mythic last month, and I've been using it to climb the ladder this month after testing a bunch of new decks and realizing I just have to play aggro to get out of the lower ranks in Platinum and Diamonds. Right now I'm still Diamond, still climbing. But yeah, this deck is really good and super fun to play. It's playing a lot of like cool cards that you don't really see in this meta at all, like King Darien and Alana is fun, Horizon is fun. I mean, all of these cards are just so fun to cast, and watching your opponents react to like actually how powerful they can actually be, you know? And there's a lot this deck does. Actually, it has a lot of tools. It's very multi-dimensional when it comes to aggro decks. It's got taxing, which does help you a lot, a lot. This deck is pretty much unplayable without the white. This is definitely the most important pair that you have in your deck to beat all the black Meathook Massacre, cut down decks, like Fable on curve decks. All these cards are just so important and powerful. So you're really leveraging the fact that you don't really play that many non-creature spells, and it hurts your opponent so much to get delayed by one turn in this deck due to the amount of pressure you can put out like super fast. So yeah, let's go over, all the cards and why I'm playing them if you guys are interested in that. Otherwise, you can just skip to the gameplay, I guess. So first up, we've got the removal. We've got 2 tail swipe. Used to have 4, but I realized that the metagame was not lending itself very well to trades, especially because people are playing a lot of shield red and a lot of creatures that don't really line up that well with tail swipe. And I was really torn on whether to play 4 or to play Brutal Cathar, and then I quickly realized that you actually do need to keep up the pressure, and Brutal Cathar does fill the same role to some extent, but you also get the body, which is really nice. Sometimes you get the flip, and then that gives you recurring removal, so that's even better. So yeah, I quickly realized that I needed to split between both instead of going all in on either or, just to have some versatility and a little more tempo advantage when it comes to removing something and playing a creature at the same time. Then we've got the Siobhan Devastator that fills in the flexibility aspect of this deck, which is going to be mana flexibility. So it's like allowing you to have the extra 2-drop in case you need it, allowing you to have like that big burst creature at the end. It's super important to have a card like this in a deck that doesn't use mana that well due to the fact that the lands aren't actually that good in this deck. This mana base is pretty fragile and is not very good when it comes to pushing things out on curve. So you have a lot of tap lands, which is unfortunate, but the lack of pain lands for this color combo is kind of devastating. That's why I'm playing 2 Thran Portal, which is definitely not a fun card to play. Taking that damage really hurts, but you gotta do what you gotta do. But I'll talk about that later a little more. Anyways, flexible haster, we like that. Another haster, Raiju, just overall pretty good card. Okay stats, but you have to be attacking, otherwise 3/3 is pretty mediocre. Those are the 2 hasters, pretty straightforward. Then we move on to the 2-drops. Dahlia, obviously talked about earlier. Disruption, really important in this deck. Probably best card in the deck. I don't know. Most important card in the deck, at least. Maybe not best. Beast Color, incredible 2-drop. Probably the best in the entire game. Just, I don't know. This card just does way too much for a green and a colorless. The fact that I can even play it in this deck is just mind-boggling. I mean, putting a +1/+1 counter on a 2/2 every time you cast a creature is just super crazy. And the fact that it even has a death proc of redistributing its +1/+1 counters upon being put in the graveyard is just crazy. Then we've got Iconoclast. Oh, I forgot that. I guess this counts as another haster, but it's just a one of. It's just there because why not? Gives you another 2-drop, gives you another haste creature. Good stats. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just a good card. But it's not good enough to play more than, let's say, 2, I would say. Because there are a lot of cards that you would rather have over this card. Anyways, next up is Peacekeeper. This card is just crazy. I mean, Vigilance is absurd in this meta, especially in a deck that can pump up its creatures. It allows you to also dodge Wandering Emperor, which is the main, tempo swing that most white decks have. So that's really important. The activate ability of sources with the chosen name costs 2 more to activate is also incredible, because that means that even as a top deck, if your opponent has nothing, you can just name like something to have on the battlefield, like let's say an Anvil if you find yourself against that deck, or a Planeswalker, or even in the case where they have more mana but they have a Planeswalker in hand, you could just name the Planeswalker and it costs them like basically four extra mana to even activate the thing. Well, play and then activate, you know what I mean? So yeah, this card is just insane disruption. Really good. It's not legendary, so you can play multiple. It's just fantastic as long as you know what to name with it. That's the tricky part, but hey, that comes with practice. You can watch me play live if you want to see what I name in different scenarios, but yeah, it would be too difficult to go over everything here. Angel Fragnition, a card I didn't have at first, but now I'm super happy to have. I mean, I keep going back to this card. I absolutely love the design. I love everything this card does. It's so fun to play, and it's actually really strong when in a racing scenario. It catches your opponent off guard easily in a situation where you're about even and they take like a kind of a risky attack to finish you off the next turn, thinking you have no trample, and then bam, +2/+2 trample, vigilance, haste. I mean, this card is just crazy as hell and gives you every single stat an aggro deck would need in one card. Fantastic. King Darien, it's a card that many doubted at first, and I was really looking forward to playing it, and it actually performs incredibly well in this deck. The 2/3 curve into 4-drop with it is just disgusting. This is definitely like the best curve out creature in the deck. This is like the cornerstone of what this deck wants to do. You want to curve out a Thalia or a Beast Color into King Darien, which would pump your Beast Color to 4/4, give your Thalia 3/2 first strike, which is incredible. And then if it stays alive, which is obviously you want that to happen, but let's just assume it stays alive. Then you get a potential 4-drop that scales super hard off the extra +1/+1 aura that it gives off. Halana giving +3/+3 and being a 3/4 is just ridiculous. And then Raiju being a 4/4, which is much more reasonable stats attacking into all these 3/2s in the metagame. And then pumping something else is just fantastic, because then it might not even have to pump itself, which is what you want. You want to pump other creatures, since Raiju does extra damage according to how many modified creatures you control that aren't Thundering Raiju. So it doesn't not count itself. So that's also really important. And then we've got this spicy card that I added recently that it has been incredible, but also slightly disappointing, because somehow this card does not deal damage to Planeswalkers, and Planeswalkers are a huge problem in this meta. And I hate that. But still, with all the Fables running around, everybody playing all these 3/2s, this card is just incredible, and the flexibility with read ahead is just fantastic. The looting is fantastic in this deck due to the inconsistent land draws, or sometimes you're stuck with some random cards that you duplicate legendaries, stuff like that. Having that chapter 2 is always nice. And then the 4/4 flyer, very important actually. I realized that flyers are definitely the best keyword to have on creatures in an aggro deck, because there aren't that many other decks playing flyers themselves or reach or anything, and a lot of people are playing a really good grounded board states, so board states that can't interact with flyers. So you want some evasiveness to finish off your opponent, and this really does the job well with the Siobhan Devastators, because this was not enough previously, I felt like. And then obviously the 2 damage sweeper is really nice, especially in this deck, when you consider the fact that you have a lot of ways to modify your creatures, pump them up from their base stat line, and that allows them to dodge the 2 damage sweeper. I've almost never found myself in a situation where I couldn't use the chapter 1 when I needed to, all my creatures are usually way above, or not way above, but above 2 toughness, and that's fantastic. Lands, pretty straightforward. Main issue with this deck, really, just the mana base. You've got channel lands, obviously. A lot of basics because I need untapped lands. That's the problem. Not enough pain lands, only 4. There's no white, red pain land. There's no green, white pain land, unfortunately. 11 tap lands hurt a lot. Thran Portal. What can I say about Thran Portal? Comes into the battlefield tapped unless you have 2 or fewer other lands. So it can come in untapped on 3. Take 1. You choose a color, and you have to take 1 damage every time you activate it to tap for mana. And this adds up, which is also a reason I started playing Angel Fire, because I realized I needed some form of lifelink, and I'm not playing that 4/4 Naya haste creature because it doesn't seem like it's good enough from my testing. I'd rather have that combat trick that can just slap onto any creature. But it's not a combat trick. Well, I don't know. Sorcery speed. Can you call it a combat trick? I don't know. Anyways, 2 Thread Portal because I need the untap lands. Yeah, that's pretty much the main contention that you might have with this deck, is the fact that the mana is not that good. But hey, doesn't stop you from winning a lot of games. It shouldn't stop you either. Sideboard. I guess I can move my camera, but you guys can probably... Nah, you guys can see. I'll just list off the cards at the bottom anyways. 2 Tamiyo Safekeeping. Pretty important. I had 1 at first. Realized I needed more protection on the draw especially. Even on the play. I mean, against all the removal decks. But even with some matchups I have to play Brutal Cathar. And I've gotten a lot of wins off of people targeting Brutal Cathar and me having Safekeeping up. So that justifies it already. I mean, the card is just fine. It's pretty important. 1 mana, saves your creature. Fantastic. Gain 2 life. Sometimes relevant, sometimes not. Whatever. Destroy Evil. Not the best card I have in the sideboard, but I don't know. I feel like it's fine. It does kill most of the threats I need to kill. And it also destroys enchantments, which are kind of rampant. Unfortunately, it doesn't deal with artifacts, but hey, it is what it is. I mean, it's still a good enough removal spell to play as a one-of, so I'm okay with it. 2 Unlicensed First, no exile in the deck. Some decks really, really leverage the graveyard. So yeah, pretty much a necessity in the sideboard. Gives you an edge against all of those decks. Crew 2 is fantastic in this deck. This thing can get very big. Slapping Angel Fire on it's kind of fun sometimes. It is what it is. Good card. 2 more Cathars. A lot of creature matchups where you want it. A lot of Fables running around. You want to eat the token. Good tempo play. Just really good card. Especially backed up with Safekeeping. Rending Flame. Mostly a nod to Shield Red. Especially on the draw. You really need something to kill Shield Red, because Brutal Cathar is usually not going to cut it on the draw. So yeah, pretty much necessity. You could probably play 3, honestly. I don't know. I think 3 is fine, but you would have to find a slot. I'm not sure. Angel Fire Ignition number 2. Just a nod to other aggro decks. Gives me a huge edge. Why not? Jaya is a fantastic planeswalker. Pretty much the best non-creature permanent you could play. It gives you card advantage, gives you board presence, gives you potential removal if you're ahead. This card's just fantastic, and pretty much a necessity against all the black decks that are going to be removing your creatures really easily. So yeah, you need 2 or 3, I would say. If you have 2, just that's fine. You could probably play Rending Flame instead, or I don't know, just you don't really need the 3rd one, really. Just I'm sure you can find a slot. Elder Dragon War number 3. I mean, I just love this card. It's been fantastic. Why not play a 3rd one for the matchups where you need the 2 damage pseudo sweeper? It's great against Fable, and Fable's a bane. Also, I'm not playing Fable in this deck because it doesn't curve out well with the Dahlia, if you were wondering. Otherwise, it's okay. I mean, it's just not that aggressive of a card. It's still fine. You could potentially play it. I don't know. Haven't tested. Don't care. Burn Down the House is absurd. Absurdly good. The card is just too flexible. Really good on the draw. when you're gonna be behind automatically. Sometimes catch your opponent off guard. Sometimes you're ahead on the draw. Use the 1/1s. It's great. Anyways, this deck has pretty damn good matchups. And pretty much just an overall global positive win rate on the play. No matter what you're facing, unless it's some crazy control deck. I don't know. Like it would have to be something crazy with like life linkers and all that stuff. But the fact that you can bust out a win out of anywhere with this deck just from winning a coin flip and having good hand is where the efficiency comes in. And this deck is fantastic for climbing quick games. You can concede pretty quickly if you see that you're losing. It just feels fun to play, never get bored. A lot of cool cards. Anyways, I'll be playing a match where I'll be going in depth about the plays so you guys can learn to pilot this deck. And yeah, I'll be uploading some more gameplay of this deck and maybe some more in-depth analysis of this deck, just like today. As in like me going play by play. So yeah, you can come watch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/crows. If you want to catch me live playing this deck or other cool decks, I'll probably be in Mythic by then. So yeah, see you guys there. All right, start this off. Hopefully we get a good matchup here. Terrible hand. Obvious mulligan. Playable hand, not too exciting. Keeping the Thread Portal is interesting. I could skip a 3-drop. Let's see. Do I actually... Being on the draw is weird with this hand, because I want to play Thalion 2 and not Beastcaller on 2. And I would rather curve out a 3-drop in this case. I think I keep the Thread Portal either way. Taking damage could be an issue. Okay, I don't really know what that could be. Could be anything from 5 colors to, well, I guess just straight up bans. Interesting. I think in this spot I have to lead with Beastcaller. It's just more powerful, and being on the draw, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to win if I don't set up like a pretty strong board. And yeah, I was thinking about playing around that, but I think it's okay because Elder Dragon War is going to be coming down soon. So this should be another red source. I'm going to play Lana next turn. Let me think about this. Second red source makes sense. Second green source also makes sense. I mean, they both make sense. I think it's gotta be green though. I think it makes more sense because that way I have 2 red and 2 green. And if I want the second green, I would have to pay 1 life anyway, so it kind of makes sense. Go for maximum board presence, right? Or do I not care about curving out Elder Dragon War on 5? I mean, I could still curve it on 5. I think it's better to disrupt here. Even though I didn't do it last turn, probably still fine. Odds are they'd have something else they want to play on 3, right? I don't think that's too far-fetched. This getting countered is probably fine. But if it doesn't get countered, I'm in a very strong spot. Alright, if hopefully I draw a land here and we're just dominating this board. They definitely have Wandering Emperor. It looks like they just can't play it. Okay, I didn't find it. I think it's still pretty okay. Start things off with this just to make sure they don't have like any tricks. It looks like they don't. Alright, should be able to win this then. Okay. I mean, it just so happened that they kept a hand with like probably a few Wandering Emperors and a Wedding Announcement. It looks like if I would have played Thalion 2, I probably would have won as well. but I would have way less damage going in on turn 3 and 4. So my call is kind of interesting. I think it's pretty close. You could do either and probably win the game. I wasn't really sure what I was facing by then, so I don't know. Like in Bants, they could have 3 drops. They could have like multiple things they can do on 3. And okay, if I hadn't drawn the Elder Dragon War, I probably would have valued. Anyways, let's sideboard against this. So Elder Dragon War didn't even reveal it, which is fantastic. Angel Fire is just fantastic against this deck. The trample's huge. The vigilance is huge. Cathar is pretty good against tokens. It's actually really good against non-black decks, so I'm also pretty high on that. Looks like on the draw, I can probably cut Tail Swipe, probably cut Iconoclast, probably cut the Raijus, because those are looking to... Those are probably going to get board locked by their grounded creatures, so I don't really think it's a good idea on the draw. Destroy Evil makes sense, but also, do I really care about Wedding Announcement? I mean, I guess maybe. I don't really know what they're playing exactly yet, so we'll just play it just in case. I mean, it'll have a target. Let's see. I could definitely see myself playing a Tail Swipe or Safekeeping here. I have to think about it. Safekeeping. Could do one Safekeeping, just because why not? Tail Swipe sounds like something I could use as well. You never know what could happen. This looks fine to me. This is a pretty good matchup in theory. Just because Brutal Cathar is annoying for them to deal with, and I also have a bunch of flyers, and I have a few vigilance creatures. Weird hand. I think it's good enough to keep. The odds of me drawing a play are relatively high. On 3, which would be the... well, I guess I probably can't play on 4 either, but... well, that's pretty unlucky. Drawing all 3 Dragon Wars, not the best thing ever. Still decent odds here. Okay, that's actually totally fine. But giving them the flip here is pretty annoying, gonna be honest. Whatever. Not much you can do about it. Yeah, really unfortunate draws. I drew a non-creature or non-permanent, so I couldn't cast anything on 3, and I drew my 3rd Elder Dragon War, which obviously is not playable on 3. Okay, that's fine. Hopefully this stabilizes me. I'm not very stable, but we're in a much better position than we could have been in, potentially. So I'm pretty happy that things went the way they did with my mediocre draws. Second Wedding Announcement is pretty annoying. That is quite good. I feel pretty okay discarding both lands here. I'm gonna have to Elder Dragon War next turn though, so maybe I discard 1. This is interesting. I could also... I think I might need the land, because I'm gonna need to sweep next turn. I think this is correct. Just in case. Well, not the greatest. I definitely have to set up for Elder Dragon War. I guess I play Garden since this is gonna loot anyways. I'm still in a pretty good spot. Oh, never mind. Okay, that is very bad. Alright, I was not expecting that. The good news is they don't have land. A pretty tough choice here, I think. It could just be play a 4/4 or start going in. I think going in here, making the 4/4. Gives me 8 damage plus 5. What about going in for 5 here? Doesn't give me lethal. Oh, it does give me lethal next turn. This is interesting. I think I do this anyways. Odds are they don't find second white here. So most likely they won't have interaction for this Devastator. Unless they top deck a white and have Wandering Emperor. So 2 things need to happen here for my spot to be fragile. Okay, that's pretty annoying. Still okay. Oh, this is really annoying. Okay, they're not attacking. If I could only get them to 2 here, which is not possible. I think I still choose to play around Wandering Emperor, right? But I guess it wouldn't help me. Ah, such a bad spot. Maybe playing the Eldritch Dragon War for a dragon is the correct play. Or am I just dead, actually? Let's see. 2024, I can block 1. I think I have to gain 6, right? What if I play this? Oh, such a bad spot. This gives me an extra blocker. But I guess this also gives me an extra blocker. I think this has to be the play. Because Vigilance basically untaps it for me. Bad spot. The fact that they're at 3 is really annoying. I think I just take the 25 here. Makes the most sense. That way I have 2 lethal attackers. Okay, well, that went well, but they obviously didn't draw that. Well, I think they were stuck with a bunch of again, probably mostly Wandering Emperors. And maybe other expensive creatures, Festival, stuff like that. I don't know. They really didn't do much. Move on to the next match. That was a quick one. Okay, going first here is nice. Oh, this is such a gamble hand. Oh, this is such a gamble hand. Huge payoff. Huge risk. But I mean, like, absolutely ginormous payoff if it works. It's always a tough call when you see a hand like this. 25 lands in the deck. Could go either way. It's about a 45% chance on each draw. It's a little less likely than flipping a coin twice. I think not risking it is more important on the play. And I drew a fantastic second hand. Like, when you're on the play, you have a pretty reasonable advantage with this deck. And I don't want to throw that advantage away just to keep a hand that's even more powerful than is required to win, right? So, like, I can easily win with this hand, even though I would destroy them with the other. And then again, I do need land for it. It's going to be interesting. Okay. Wow. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a problem. If I miss my land drop, I'm going to be in a really bad spot. And they have everything that they need. It's got to be Fable. I can't really think of much else. I think I'm okay with trading this. I want to make sure my Raiju can go in. Yeah, I basically lose the game if I don't draw 4th land. Thank God. Really close call, but having a 3-lander, I should definitely find the land on average. Okay, now we're in a pretty stable position, I think. They play the Angel, but I think it's still okay. Oh wow, they're going for the greed play. Oh, that's just fantastic for me. They should have played the Angel. Now they're in trouble. They're at 3, they take lethal damage from any of the Raijus attacking as long as I have 2 other creatures. Or, I guess 3 in this case. But I do have a guaranteed 3rd one, so... Very good, very good. I guess I'm a little confused as to what exactly they're playing. It looks like it's just a... It's a mid-range enchantment, return things from graveyard, plus angel. That's such a wild pile, but that's what you get in Mythic. Yeah, Elder Dragon War, fantastic. I don't know if I'm supposed to be playing around Wandering Emperor and cards like that. Gonna be a very weird deck to sideboard against. I mean, I do need removal, but what kind? I mean, Destroy Evil is a no-brainer, right? Tail Swipe sounds relatively good. Unless his Hearse is a consideration because of the graveyard stuff, but I just don't know if I can do that on the draw. I'll be cutting this for Hearse, I guess. I have to slow my gameplay down. Cathar sounds pretty okay. It can catch tokens. If I have to catch an angel, I guess I can do that. Safekeeping on the draw is a little weird. I guess I'll play one. Maybe I cut a Cathar. Nah. I need to make sure they don't get the Fable token online. Yeah, it looks like this is what it's gonna be. Should be a relatively good matchup for me though, all things considered. They don't have black, which is the main thing. I mean, this deck, when Meathook is banned, aka tomorrow, it's gonna be so powerful. This hand is good. Looks like they're playing a lot of non-creatures, so we're gonna hit pretty hard. It does hurt me a little bit though. Still, in this deck, your odds of drawing a creature are relatively high. So hopefully I draw one on turn 3. Otherwise I can always cycle. Not the worst. I mean, maybe it is the worst, I can't tell. But I guess they're also doing nothing, so it's kind of a stalemate. Oh, these tap lands are hurting them. That's one of the downsides of playing a 3-color deck that needs all these pain lands that don't exist right now. Oh, they're playing counter spells. Very interesting. Yeah, I was not expecting that. That's pretty unfortunate playing into that, but I can't really play around it without prior knowledge, and I wouldn't really expect them to play it. That hurts. I ended up drawing too slow of a hand, I think. Bunch of lands. quite difficult. Giving them a land here is probably okay, right? I can't be picky. I have to start powering through here. Yeah, they have a bunch of lands in hand. Unfortunately, I have to start with chapter 2. I gotta get rid of these. It's now a grind battle. No longer a question of attacking or blocking. Okay, that's unfortunate, but at least I get the looting. I think we're still in a relatively stable position. Thinking about their deck. Unless they're actually... Okay, they have a chance of top decking the card that brings back from the graveyard. 3 CMC or lower, the Angel. That would be a problem. I guess in this spot I do have to play around Counterspell. But they didn't have it last turn, so what are the odds? Ah, that sucks. Alright, I think... Wow, I think they're definitely in a good spot here. This is not good for me. Stable is a humongous problem. That's a good draw though. Dealing 8 versus letting them attack. I mean, at this point, the treasure token does not matter anymore. So I'm going to take the damage. I mean, hopefully it doesn't matter, but who knows. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Now what's really scary is if they top deck a creature that can combo off the reflection. Hope that doesn't happen. Otherwise I have a mana sink as well. So my average draw gets much better because I can just sink the mana into this. Alright, that's unfortunate. But they should have probably gone for the attack and tried to kill my King Darien. Very nice. Wow, fantastic. This deck just top decks really well. I mean, yeah, the Elder Dragon War Saga looting for 2 there was just fantastic. I mean, I got... Not only did I get a removal spell out of them, but I also got rid of 2 useless cards. Fantastic. Alright, let's take a look at... Terrible. Oh my goodness. This is unfortunate. I have to keep double red for Raiju. Very, very bad RNG, but we'll see what we can do. Just gonna say it, I think I'm considering not playing this at this point, but... I mean, what are the odds of me winning a game where I'm drawing another land? I don't know. I guess the odds of this hurting me are relatively low. And the odds of it helping me are actually pretty high, so... Well, you know what? 2 lands at the bottom, I should have probably played that. Forgot to consider that. Could be okay though. Yeah, that should have been... Well, I don't know, it's just the fear of the shuffler. The fear, the absolute terror. Alright, yeah, so I guess I was correct. It is truly something to be feared. And I guess sometimes you should listen to your fears. Holding on to this is going to pay off, potentially. Stun deck, usually a relatively difficult matchup, but they're throwing away removal, so that's quite nice. Okay. Scary, but not really too much I can do about that. Oh, that is an interesting draw. But it is more damage to attack first. Oh, let me think about this. Now this is a very difficult position. It really is going to depend on if I think my opponent's going to block or not. I think I have to go for it. This is just too strong if I manage to bait them here. Okay, they don't take the bait. Well, it is what it is. Still flip here. If they took the bait, I get the flip and the kill, and I get to play my tap line, so that would end up being perfect. So yeah, this actually did end up biting me in the ass, but whatever. Wow, interesting. Yeah, I gotta get that out of there. Them attacking with the devils is extremely greedy and will most likely not pay off. But who knows? Okay, they're willing. What? That makes no sense. All right. Anyways. Let's go pump the trampler. Okay. That's pretty scary, but I guess we'll see what happens. Ideally, I'd want to land here. Wow. What an attack. They're playing too aggressively. I think this is a win if I draw a land, no? Oh, they gain a life. Oh, very unfortunate. Very, very unlucky. Oh no, wait. I get the flip. I win. Wow. Okay, let's fucking go. I think I win no matter what, no? Attack call, this is 3 damage no matter what. Yeah, and I have 4 in hand. Yeah, this is just perfect. I seriously doubt they have removal. Yeah, they just completely ignored my Brutal Cathar. Fantastic. But yeah, what you can take away from that game is I probably should have played Garden on 1 because of the 2 lands at the bottom. I think that's usually correct. And then the play where I was baiting them into my Ganjo is interesting, but I think it was actually correct no matter what. It's just so close. It's such a close call because if they don't take the bait twice, as in they don't attack either, that could put me in a really bad spot. But getting the flip is so valuable. It's kind of, I don't know. I don't know. That's really a call that could go either way and win you or lose you the game depending on what they draw. So there's not really much I can do on my side. Depends on how they play. Let's say against a really good player there, they wouldn't block. So I probably should have played Halana. But because of my garden mistake on turn 1, I wasn't able to develop it without using my castle, so my Aganjo. So it's yeah, because of that, I had to try to force a bad play in. Luckily for me, it still paid off. But yeah, keep in mind basically the statistics of you drawing a land and play accordingly, I would say. Anyways, let's focus up. Wow. This is going to be very difficult. As usual. No Raiju. Cathar sounds terrible. She's gonna die. Rending Flame, destroy evil. Protection. Make creatures bigger. Exile their yard. And second Hearse, because I'm on the draw. I don't know. It's between Hearse and Burn Down and Jaya there, I think. You could pretty much go with either of them. I'm gonna try to deny their graveyard strategy and see how that works out. Wow, terrible. Not great. Second green source, I probably... Is taking 1 damage dangerous? Yeah, it is against them. It is. They're playing Burn Down. They definitely have Meathook. But I have life gain. Okay, that convinces me to keep the duel. I could potentially need the second green source eventually. Yeah, outlook on 1 is always a pain. That's a fantastic draw. Oh my god, now I kind of regret not keeping the land, but can't really play around drawing another 4-drop there, I think. On average, it's correct to put the land at the bottom. Well, it is what it is. Harvester is such a good card. I have to play into it. That, or if I had the 4th land, I would probably not play into it, but I don't. Oh. Alright, now I actually... Okay, wow. Okay. Well, at this point, I'm so far behind. I'm just gonna go for the value play. There's really not much I can do. Hope they play more into it, I guess. They don't. Really not much I can do about it. At least I get to put the Angel Fire to the bottom, potentially. I mean, that's the bottom. In the graveyard. There was definitely a consideration to not play this on turn 2, but I don't think it's correct. I have to think about how much health I'm saving too. Like, the value can only go so far. Do they get to keep this? No, right? Wait, no they don't. Okay, nice. This is so interesting. Because I feel like I need to be mana efficient. I don't know if I can discard anything here. Because on turn 6 I want a King Darien plus Angel Fire, but maybe that's... this is so annoying. I could potentially get rid of 1 land here and hope things still go my way. I have a lot of 2-drops too. Ah, it's so close. I have a land at the bottom. I'm gonna keep it, I think. I'm so far behind on life. I'm very scared. Yeah, whatever. Just hope to draw well. The good news is they had to use Riveteer's Charm to... What did they discard? Soul? Wow. Oh my god. Am I dead? No, I'm dead. Oh my god. That's so unfortunate. So unfortunate. And I draw land too. Damn it, dude. Oh man, every Jund deck is just playing Workshop War Chief. It's such a good card against me. If they have any removal spell, we are absolutely out of this game. What can I even draw? Pretty shook here. I need I need Elder Dragon War. Worst case scenario, drawing another land. Oh man, I don't know. Should I have discarded the land? Is this just hindsight? It's probably just hindsight. The odds are relatively low for me redrawing land every turn. Even one extra land would have been okay, but two is definitely not okay. So the odds were definitely on my side for me to win this, potentially. Sadly, that did not happen. Now I can't even dodge a sacrifice from Rivetier's Charm, because I have one creature. Could potentially still win if I'm extremely lucky, but... I mean, this is just an impressive showing from Angel Fire and Elder Dragon War. You can kind of understand why I'm playing this. This card has potential to completely turn the game on its end and put you in a stable or even winning position from a losing one. Not many cards can do that in aggro. Okay. Okay, very interesting. I see what they're doing. 4, 6, 10. If I go to 1 here, I think I have to go to 1. There's no way they have a combat trick that deals 1, right? Oh, actually, they might have Meathook and then sack this. I think I blocked this. That way they can't win no matter... No, they would have played Meathook pre-combat. There's no way they have it. What I'm playing around is the 4 damage spell. Oh wait, they can't have the 4 damage spell. Oh no, they can. They can sack this and then sack the token. 4 damage for 1 by sacking artifact. Surge, I think it's called. Or second Blood Tithe Harvester. Both of those things are scaring me. Let's see, this is definitely 5/9, so I go to 2. I think this is still relatively safe block, so I'm gonna do it. Hope for the best. It was second Harvester, okay. I see what they're doing. So I was definitely playing around either second Harvester or Surge. Both were... Harvester was less likely because they already played 2 Harvesters at the start of that game. So I would definitely not block the dragon no matter what. Like, that is certain. I would still play around this no matter how unlikely it is, because I'm not going to die. They have very low chance of killing me through direct damage. I know they have a Surge too, so I have to play around that. So this was definitely the best block I can make that has the highest potential to win the game.